Hello, good evening, and welcome. Been a long time since we had a show. This is Psinys, Paranormal Talk Radio. I'm your host, Patrick, and I hope your Halloween was good. I was planning on making a show before this. I'm making one tonight. It is Sunday, November 3rd, 2019. We're going to talk a little bit about ghosts, known stages of paranormal activity, and protecting yourself when doing an investigation, also classifications of EVPs. So we're going to cover a lot tonight. And for you out there who are listening that, are new to this paranormal investigations and things like that, and unexplained phenomena and experiences that you may have, I'm going to try to enlighten you on some of the situations regarding paranormal activity and investigations. So again, this is PSINYS, Paranormal Talk Radio. PSINYS stands for Paranormal Scientific Investigation, New York State. You can go to our website, www.psinys.com, and there you'll find out more about us. We have some pictures up and videos up there, and we're going to be posting some more. I'm actually going to be starting a new paranormal scientific investigation of New York State a Facebook page, because unfortunately the one that I've had on there for years, somehow it was hacked, my Facebook, and I cannot get into that. When I do get into it, it's showing it's something else. So anyway, I'm going to be doing that. In the meantime, I'll post a notice on the old Facebook page. That's about all I can do. I can't get in to answer any emails or see my, the people that are following me and anything like that. So I'm hoping that the people that are following me or have followed me will go over to the new page, the new website, the new Facebook page, and follow me there. All right. So let's get right into it. All right. First of all, I'm gonna discuss the types of ghosts. All right, and let's be under the classification of orbs, which we'll get into on this subject. Now, many of you have probably heard of poltergeist haunting. Okay, poltergeist haunting is a mischievous activity, usually reported in cases involving adolescent children from ages 12 to 14, and in their early 20s. And this activity tends to cycle from minor incidences like knocks, cold spots, footsteps, abnormal odors, and can escalate to slaps, objects moving, and even threatening senses of impending danger. Once it peaks, it usually subsides. It then surges and retreats. Most of the time, in the poltergeist cases, everyone in the house, including family and friends, have shared some type of experience regarding this. Orbs are very common entities, and best taken with cameras. They are also referred to as globes of light, globuluses, energy balls, etc. Some of them appear in different colors, while some are white and transparent. Some have faces on them, or what seem to be faces, and some give off brilliant light, different colors. Some of them are solid too, that give off a very bright amount of energy and light in the picture that's been taken. Now, when we do this, we like to at least take a series of 6 to 8 shots at the wall or the doorway or whatever we're taking at that time. We like to do a series of 6 to 8 shots at a time in that one spot. Then move on to the next one and do the same thing. Next one, do the same thing. This way, if something is caught in that frame, sequence of frames that we've taken in that same spot, one right after the other, then we know that it's something that, is anomalous. And we've definitely gotten a lot of anomalous activity doing that. All right. Others can be seen with the naked eye, but this is rare because they're often moving or high up in trees, corners, closets, or hidden areas. They're intelligent, and when you talk to them and ask them questions, they usually show up in photos. They're also sometimes found in haunted places and non-haunted places. They show up night or day, and often as if they are trying to tell something in the photos that have been taken. They're harmless. Sometimes you can feel them blow past your face, or shift in the air around you. When orbs are in motion, they can have tails on them, or motion tails called plasmoid tails, or streamers. And a camera can catch this more accurately. Most orbs are transparent in the center, and many believe that their colors may actually be what their auras were like in life, or reflects how old of a soul they are. Given enough energy, orbs can manifest. The more energy, the greater and brighter that they become. Some skeptics say that they're dusts or errors in digital cameras. However, there are some that have been captured on many types of cameras in non-dusty environments, and even as high as in trees. So it's they all can't be dust, or whatever the skeptics are saying. All right, ghost lights. Ghost lights are called spook lights, earth lights, and many other names for them. And this phenomenon is unknown, and there are many areas that have these ghost lights. This is not a new ghostly happening or being talked about. Ghost lights existed as far back as 1656. They are most likely many spirits traveling together with enough energy that light is given off of them. Although scientists have theorized that it's possible that they are marsh gases rising up, UFOs, subatomic particles burning up, and many who have followed these lights have gotten lost, disappeared, and even faced death. So they're a big mystery when it comes to that type of anomalous activity. Sometimes they look like bright energy light going by. And then sometimes they look like hundreds of traveling glowing balls. So perhaps they're gateways to the spiritual world, and the dead travel through them. A lot of areas that have ghost lights have had tragedies happen in that area. Areas like train wrecks, massacres, things of that type that have happened. Okay, let's go to apparitions and disembodied spirits. Apparitions and disembodied spirits are rare, but an appearance basically is a ghost in its full form. Some clothes, usually how they appeared before they died. They will not hurt you. Though they may scare you, in a sense that they're transparent. At times, they may appear when they want to tell you something, and sometimes become desperate to gain attention. They will move things around, make noise, talk, cause disruptions with appliances such as lights, television, stereos, etc. They are basically the deceased, and they know they're dead. If they still live in the house where they died in, they may go around and tidy up, or even try to fix something in the kitchen. Sometimes talking to them can generate a response. Or you may see apparitions of your family members who have recently died. They may come to you to visit at times, perhaps relate a message by making things happen, such as a familiar smell, opening a book, calling on the phone, where the phone will ring but no one's there. I guess you hear static, which is unfortunate because it would be nice if they could actually leave messages like they do on evps, but we'll get into that anyway later on. They do seem to show emotions: happiness, anger, sadness, love, sorrow, things like that. Therefore, they must be treated like a living person with respect. Spirits. Spirits are departed souls of the dead. Generally, they do not have form. They're just a blur of cloud or of light, perhaps. Everything on earth has a soul. Animals have spirits as well, and so do we. Most people call them spirit guides, as they will stick by your side and help you deal with life's tribulations. So spirit guides. If an animal has died, sometimes you'll feel the presence of that animal, like a dog, cat, something like that. You'll feel it. You may. There are some people that even claim that that a small indentation on their bed appears, like someone has sat down, or the way where the dog used to sleep when it was alive. You'll see the same indentation on the bed, mattress, whatever, and sheets. That that would be the dog hopping up on the bed and showing that it's there in that way anyway. Okay, now residual energy, residual hauntings. These are most common where ghosts, spirits, or entities repeats its last moments before departing. Now, this can be quite dramatic and terrifying. Ghosts are called phantoms. They do not know they're dead, and their imprints from the past is left for the future. And example of this type of phenomenon might be the anniversary of someone's death. Or let's say a sailor was lost at sea, and the ghost of his lover might show up on the beach every night at 1 a.m. looking for him because he didn't return. If these ghosts ignore you, you can talk to them, you can shine a light on them or whatever, but they just keep going about their business. And that's, like I said, that would be a residual haunting. and residual energy left over. Usually you find this, like this, the stone wall theory, which is where the the imprint of the person that has died is like being taped by these things, and at certain times of the year, day, month, hour, second that the person dies or goes through that traumatic experience will appear at that particular time, date, and the place that it happened. You can easily tell that a residual haunting from a haunting that has an intelligence to it, because if you ask it questions or try to follow it or talk to it, it's going to ignore you and it's going to just move on. Whereas an intelligent haunting, you'll actually get some type of response. So it's it's not just you just go in and it's like one particular thing to a haunting. These are many different things, and this is what I'm discussing, and hopefully for the people that don't know anything about it, we'll have a little more understanding of what the situation is when it comes to paranormal and anomalous activity and spirits and ghosts and residual activity and all that good stuff. All right. Another thing I'm going to talk here about now is ectoplasm. And I'm not talking about Ghostbusters. Let's get back to this. All right. The ectoplasm. This is generally a thick mist, fog, or plasma type of material that shows up on the cameras and videos. Most ectoplasms look like swirls. However, some people have gotten faces and morphed souls within the mist while filming or photographing. This ectoplasm is a sign that an apparition is either manifesting or it has just got done manifesting. And it can appear in many colors as well, just like the orbs. And at some point I'm going to have a show on the colors of orbs and the meaning of them. But I just wanted to start out with this tonight on the show. Okay. Vortex. There are two types of vortexes. Ones that are funneled like entities, and ones that are a swirl of souls mixing together like a gateway to the spirit realm. Now, these forms are rare, and often the photos are said to be camera straps. Generally, their center is darkened, and the sides are lighter on the outside of the image. Vortexes can be created, and there was a couple of paranormal people back in the field back in the 60s and 70s, I think it was, or maybe 40s, 50s, who actually was working on and created a vortex generator. And in that generator, they could actually, with that generator, the machinery, they could actually form a vortex, and that would help, in a sense, bring out the spirits, or help them manifest anyway. Shadow ghosts. These are very exclusive ghosts. Many theories have come about referring them as entities from another worlds, living underground, or ghosts, demons, etc. But most fit into the categories of ghosts. They're usually solid or transparent black. Most are seen near walls, as if the shadow has become alive. Often the shadow ghosts may have red eyes, and they are very quick, And once you've noticed them, they either vanish, fade, or move quickly away. They appear to have a human figure with thin arms and legs. However, some appear to be have no neck and do not seem threatening, nor are they very outgoing like apparitions. So it can be like I said, a situation there. When it comes to shadow ghosts, they're usually known as shadow figures as well, or shadow people. Now, one house in Amsterdam, or not Amsterdam, in I can't even remember where it was. In the Cobleskill, I'm sorry. One house in Cobleskill that we recently investigated back in July this summer. I think it was July. It had the lady had a lot of things going on, shadows going across the walls, things that noises, door slamming, gate falling down, fences. Which I'm going to post that also on my website at some point. But turned out that the shadow figures that she was seeing and caught on the camera, as you can see, they were close to the wall and looked like a couple of them looked like they were climbing up the wall. It appears as a distortion, but you could see it. Okay. Let's see. Now, I know when we first started, I discussed poltergeists, but I'm going to get a little more into that. And poltergeists are noisy or angry ghosts, as we said, who cannot accept that they're dead. The easiest targets are children, since feeding off their fears gives it energy, momentum, and the attention that it wants. Poltergeists are said to move objects, bite, growl, scratch, scar, hit, push, vandalize, start fires, punch, push people downstairs. As you're on top of the stairs, you'll feel a push. Cabinets opening, things flying out of the drawers. There was a couple of cases where the knives flew out of the drawer and actually hit a wall, stuck in the wall. So anyway, it is pretty serious when it comes to that. And nobody's sure if these are even ghosts or souls. They may be an entity of some other kind. Not as bad as demons, but they'll certainly scare you and cause harm. Poltergeists are usually considered to be extremely violent spirits who feed off the fears and grow in power. All right, now I'm going to get into something that everybody talks a lot about. So I don't know if anybody knows exactly what demons are. Demons are the fallen angels of ancient beings. We can call them lower demeaning spirits, where there is so much evil and or hate that their souls reflect the true form of a demon. They can materialize, but they often sit back and observe. Demons often have rotten stench. They usually are humanoid looking, or half beasts with horns and human features. Demons are said to have different levels of power. Some can possess, others can be nuisances, and it is believed by some that they're looking for souls to inhabit. They're a master of trickery, and most hate anything holy or human. A lot of hatred comes with these creatures, as they do not feed on negative energy, but rather make it in your life. Demons want to be seen, and many cults will call upon them to do their bidding. So more or less they are like entities. Many haunted places have demons inhabiting them. Oftentimes, ghosts in the area will try to warn you, and since even spirits seem to be afraid of the demons, they're nothing to fool with. That's why when you do investigations in places like that, you really have to be careful, because there is a possibility of possession where these things can actually cause problems to you mentally, physically, and your family as well. They could follow you home. So there's steps that you can take when doing that investigations, and to protect yourself and to ensure that these things don't happen or follow you or attach themselves. And we'll get into that later on in the show. Okay. Angels. Let's talk about angels. Angels may show up as an apparition on a very high-speed camera. They do not really haunt, more or less. They are smart and serve a larger purpose. And perhaps keeps away the demons and other lesser beings. Often they look human, but usually believed to have wings. Some appear with a bright glowing light around them as well. All right, so to finish up last on this subject here, rods. Okay, these phenomena seem to be found near a lot of orbs, vortexes, or in haunted locations. They're not orbs of light traveling fast, but rather stick-like figures that seem to be on the move. Not much is known about them, so we don't really, at this point know a lot about them, but they appear in a variety of colors, and some rods are seen in the sky and are large. They're often called fast-moving UFOs, but when you look at a rod up close, they technically look like barbed wire. And we have seen a few of them. I've yet to catch one on camera or video, but other people have. All right. Why don't we start on this subject here? Apparition classifications. As you know or may not know, an apparition is defined as a supernatural manifestation of a soul of a deceased person, animal, or typically referred to as a ghost. Okay, apparitions are visual experiences. Throughout history, many humans have seen ghosts. Despite research efforts, there is very little known about apparitions. Okay, so let's get to the classifications of the apparition classifications. Atmospheric apparitions. This is a type of ghost sighting it is not actually believed to be real ghosts, but instead visual imprints that got left behind on the environment from the past events. These events typically include tragedies, violent events, and other places where mass death has occurred, such as battlefields, stuff like that. So what witnesses report seeing is a continuous replay of the past events exactly as they happen. The ghostly scenes that are played and replayed with both picture and sound are noted. So, there's people that have walked through the Gettysburg battlefield and have seen soldiers getting ready for battle or actually battling in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, the home of the bloodiest war that ever took place on that day, on that battlefield especially. A particularly strange aspect of atmospheric apparition is that the visual pictures fades down over time. As the years passed, the ghosts are reported to become more and more transparent until there is no picture left of them at all. Once more, the sound eventually fades as well. There's people that have heard on the battlefield of Gettysburg and other places the sounds of cannons and guns going off, and there's obviously no one there that's shooting a gun or a cannon at the time that they hear this, and it's been recorded on video and EVP recorders as well. So that's an experience right there. The most popular theory of atmospheric apparitions is represented in the field of quantum physics. Light particles become suspended in the atmosphere, where they remain dormant in the environment until the outside variable stimulates them. Once stimulated, the light particles vibrate in the atmosphere and causes that effect to happen. Witnesses then see the frozen light particles vibrating, creating a holographic version of the past events. There are certain conditions needed for this phenomenon to occur, support the particle imprint theory. The area must be outdoors or where weather conditions cannot interfere. These apparitions can only be seen from a particular angle and then at a proper distance. This means that 10 people may be in the same room, but only a few will be able to see the apparition itself. Historical apparitions. Historical apparitions are apparitions that are one step up from atmospheric apparitions. These typically haunt older homes and appear in soldier form, acting natural. They're always dressed in period clothing and do not speak, communicate, or acknowledge the presence of the living. And they seem to be in more than one location of the residence. Reoccurring apparitions. Reoccurring apparitions are ghosts that occur in a regular cycle over a period of time, usually once annually. These type of ghost sightings is one of the most popular. The date of the manifestation usually occurs on an anniversary of the date or day of special important to the deceased. The apparition can include both ghosts of people and animals, and reports of reoccurring ghost individuals who have committed suicide, murder, victims, and entire phantom armies marching across the battlefield, as I was saying in Gettysburg, that people have noticed, and other historical battlefields as well. Modern apparitions. Modern apparitions are spirits of present-day ghosts. Not all ghosts are from the ancient haunted places or of 200 years old dead people, or wars and stuff like that have happened 200 years ago. These ghosts are relatively new, looking and sounding like modern people. They still have all the same characteristics of the old haunts, such as strange noises, odd odors, cold spots, etc. As decades pass, the haunting will become more traditional, and appearances will look dated. The time and style continue to change, but the apparition will not. Okay, this is another very important characteristics of apparition here. Crisis or deathbed apparitions. Now, as many people have seen these type of things during a crisis or on their deathbed, these apparitions appear to loved ones and close friends just before or soon after their death. They're very common ghost sightings and almost never occur after more than 4 days after the death. The crisis ghosts appears one last time to fulfill the promise and say a final goodbye, or express eternal love to help case the sadness of a death for the living person left behind. Yeah, so that I've had that experience of a friend way back, which is what something I'll never forget. And I've talked about it many times, but I'm not going to talk about it tonight. Perhaps in another show. All right. Haunted objects and object apparitions. Haunted objects can also be referred to as cursed. These supernatural phenomena is one of the strangest, most puzzling things of all hauntings. Still trying to figure out all the workings and things that surround it. Most haunts have a ghost at the center. When dealing with haunted objects, the question most asked is, how are the objects haunted when they were never alive and devoid of soul? So that some haunted objects are spirit associated, meaning that the ghosts of the past owner who had a powerful or an emotional tie to the object that now haunts the object. Still, other objects leave no clue to their curse and appear to have a life of their own. So I don't know if you ever watched The Haunted Collector, some of his shows, John Zaffis. But yeah, there are certain objects that can retain presence of a spirit who had a deep connection with that object, such as a piano, maybe a dresser, a lamp, a desk, glass, glass set that was purchased, and perhaps this guy drank brandy out of his glass, and so that object has a presence about it. In the presence of a haunted object, witnesses have reported all types of strange occurrences, such as bizarre sounds, lights coming on from the rooms where the objects are stored or are placed. In other cases, the objects move with no one touching it. Sometimes a dark apparition are seen near the objects. These haunted objects can include almost any possession, jewelry, collectibles, wall clocks, furniture, as I said, desk, lamps, glasses, anything that's common, that was common to them, had a close attachment to. There are also object apparitions reported of ghosts that like sitting sighting of the objects such as a sword, books, lantern. Ghosts of spirits cannot possess the objects, but they can haunt them. There's a difference. All right. Modes of transportation. There are manifestations of non-living vehicles such as cars, trucks, buses, bicycles, carriages, trains, airplanes, ships. These manifestations are almost always associated with, in some way, with violent, tragic demise, where hundreds of people may have died as a result. Airplanes, so that's one of them. Emotional imprints are left behind in these type of horrible events that are so strong that even pieces of wreckage can become haunted or cursed. These vehicles seem to travel back over their last routes in the reenactment of the final seconds. They can be dangerous apparitions because of the fact that most of the people who see them are traveling in a vehicle. Witnesses sometimes panic and sometimes wreck their own vehicles, getting into a crash as a result of the apparition, seeing the apparition. All right. Photographic apparitions. Photographic apparitions are ghosts that are not visually seen, but can be photographed. Most people are unaware that they have taken a picture of a ghost until they actually develop the film or go over the photos that they've taken on their computers or stuff. These ghosts appear in photographs, may appear slightly transparent, grayish form, wearing period clothing, and or more commonly as a bright white patch of concentrated energy. Blurred areas are unexplained scenes on the photograph that are also believed by some that to be caused by nearby spirit. This phenomenon has taken a new twist over the past 15 years, 20 years, with the revolution of paranormal video cameras, or personal video cameras as well. Ghosts or phantoms like images have become more common and have been recorded and experienced by ghost hunters. Out-of-body apparitions. These strange occurrences of out-of-the-body apparitions are when people report seeing the ghost of someone who is still alive and can not have possibly been nearby at the time of this sighting. These apparitions appear in a very much as a form as ghosts do. They can be solid or transparent, acting similar to the real person, and the person who appears to be a ghost is not dead, or for that matter, not even sick. They are perfectly healthy individuals who say they remember everything about the out-of-body experience and are capable of remembering the details that can be verified. Some people claim to have been able to induce the experience at will, a kind of spirit jumping. Because these apparitions can appear to people that may not have known the individual in real life, the apparition may be mistaken for more of a traditional ghost. It is said that if the living soul stays out of the body too long, then the body will die, and the soul will be left as a wandering ghost. Natural and fraudulent apparitions. The majority of all ghosts reported will end up being false. And this simply means that there is a logical and natural explanation for the occurrences, being mistaken for something supernatural. It's a paranormal investigator's job, like us, like mine, to find and eliminate all rational explanations. Once the normal possibilities have been ruled out, then the investigator can begin to investigate for more supernatural answers. On the other side of the mistaken ghosts are fraudulent reports. Individuals make fake ghost sightings for any number of reasons. Maybe they're just trying to have fun or see if they can trick someone. Maybe a way of getting attention. So yeah, there's I've actually been on a few, but maybe 2 cases that were like that, where there really wasn't nothing at all, and the person just, for whatever reason, said that there was. And we found no evidence of any type of activity in those 2 houses. This was going back years ago. Okay, other supernatural explanations. There are always a huge list of natural explanations for producing apparitions and haunting conditions. However, after all the natural explanations have been ruled out, there are still some other paranormal theories that you have to look at. While these explanations may be as hard to believe as the existence of ghosts, and for some people they do have their own basis, formed actual sciences. Credible scientists trying to explain some of these supernatural occurrences have to put forth theories such as time slips, psychic echoes. Time slips are moments where the past and present collide at one point. Anyone near a time slip will be able to see into the past. Psychic echoes are sounds from the past that have somehow recorded themselves into the stones of buildings and randomly play back like an old recorder. While these explanations are just as unproven as the existence of ghosts, their theories are still needed and must be examined, which we do. Any good paranormal investigator who is doing paranormal investigating will do the scientific aspect of investigations, and that's what we do. We try to base everything somehow to get a scientific answer to the haunting. Right. Okay. Now let's get into the known stages of paranormal activity. There are many stages when it comes to paranormal activity. Awareness, communications, electrical communication, dangerous activity, poltergeist hauntings, intelligent hauntings, residual hauntings. So what I'm going to do is get a more detail on these things, which I've already talked about some of them, but I'm going to make it more in depth. Awareness. Now, an awareness haunting or awareness activity consists of cold spots, hearing voices, not being able to understand what they are saying, strange noises, odors, smells, hearing footsteps, unusual animal activities such as a dog, cat running from room to room, barking, staring at an object or part of the room where nothing is there, and feelings of being watched. So that's awareness. Communication. One can sense a different presence. Whispers, laughs, giggles, moans, shrieks, moving shadows, breeze in a closed area, visible clouds, strong static electricity, uncomfortable feelings, unaccountable marks on the floor, walls, without pattern or written words. So that would be a communication activity. Electrical communication. Lights and other electrical appliances turning on and off. Unseen hands grabbing, touching people, writing on the walls, or pattern making. Doors opening and closing, locking and unlocking, hearing voices or words clearly. Full apparitions or dark figures, showing levels of communication with living people, strange telephone calls with static in them. Demanding attention. The spirit tries more forcefully to capture your attention with flying objects, moving objects, objects disappearing and reappearing elsewhere, shaking furniture or beds, fire starting, appearing as frightening entities, pushing, shoving, shaking, creating visions or illusions, speaking in ordering tones, people feeling dizzy, nauseous, sick to their stomachs, windows, mirrors, and other household objects breaking for no reason at all. Dangerous activities. Biting, slapping, pinching, rape. Yes, even rape. Sexually touched. People who have been sexually touched by something that wasn't there. There's people that actually have had sex with entities. These are called basically incubuses or succubuses, and they basically appear as someone that if it's a man, it appears the succubus appears as a woman, very alluring, and then each night is having some type of sexual activity with the person, and the person gets more and more drained of energy. So basically they live off the energy of a human person until they finally kill them. And the incubus appears to a female. So basically, if you've experienced any of these levels, especially those of activity, we're unable to help you as a paranormal investigator. You would need to seek the help of a demonologist or someone who specializes in trained and qualified to deal with that type of activity. You may even have to get a priest to perform an exorcism. Poltergeist hauntings. Poltergeist haunting is a mysterious activity, again usually reported by children, young children, because they can be the most influenced. Abnormal odors, knocks, cold spots, footsteps, moving objects, slapped, pushed. Once it peaks, it usually just subsides, then surges and retreats. Most of the time, poltergeist causes everyone in the house, including friends, family, and to be involved. Intelligent hauntings. Now, this is very important. An intelligent haunting is a type of haunting in spirits are confined in one spot, in one space. They are aware of their surroundings and are able to move to different locations. Spirits of this type of haunting can acknowledge the existence of humans when they try to communicate with them in various ways. These type of ghosts are able to move lighters, objects, with the intention of arousing human attention. Often, resulting in the person being frightened. These types of spirits can be mischievous or benevolent, but these type of spirits also do not want to leave the location because they're either attached to it and continue their daily lives. Okay, most common question that I've been asked, and I'm sure many other paranormal investigators have been asked, or even the investigators themselves, Can a spirit follow you home? So we're going to be talking now about ways of protecting yourself. Yes, spirits do have the capability and often the desire to follow an individual home. Spirit attachments is common, a definition used to describe an event wherein a spirit entity attracted to an individual person or an individual person's characteristics will attach themselves to that person. What people in general tend to dismiss is the reality that a spirit, where at one time was just like you and me, human beings. Some people have certain qualities and physical attributes that attract certain spirits, whether the individual reminds the spirit of someone or that they have a specific personality trait that reminds the spirit of himself or herself, or of just life in general. This in turn can result in a spirit attachment or attraction. Now, what's the difference between a spirit attraction or a spirit attachment and welcoming a spirit into your home with you? Welcoming a spirit or entity home with you differs greatly from the spirit attachment, and this is why. A spirit attachment or attraction is not a choice, okay? Whereas welcoming a spirit to come home with you is. That's pretty much common sense right there. So whether you're willing and with knowing intent invite the spirit or entity to follow you home, then you're opening the door for that person or entity to come in. And it could be a potentially harmful situation, but if you're opening that door, that's a situation that you're going to face. Opening a door allows any spirit or inhuman entity to invade your life or your home. And by doing this, you're giving spirit permission to do whatever it wants, when it wants. Spirits are like people. They're going to do good and evil. So it's just a warning to people out there. If you're going to open a door and welcome a spirit into your life, then please be precautious and be aware that there may be negative repercussions in doing so. Now, protecting yourself against that from happening, even if you're not a paranormal investigator, it's still a good idea to protect yourself if you are like moving into a new house or you're past an area that has been visited a haunted place like a battlefield or something like that. So it can never hurt. So if you find yourself in a position where you feel vulnerable or defenseless, there are several ways in which to protect yourself. Now, these methods will vary depending on your own personal beliefs. Now, here's a few of the traditional methods that I'm going to talk about here. Prayer. Regardless of one's faith or belief, the system prayer can be a powerful tool and is often used by the means of shielding one from evil and negative energy. Smudging. Smudging is also a good thing to do to protect yourself. The practice of burning sage in a combination of sage mixed with cedar, lavender, and other desired herbs and stems from rituals, ceremonies of spirituality, and cultural techniques that have been passed down through the ages and are commonly used by Native Americans and mystics to cleanse out negative energy, to repellish positivity and healing energy. Gemstones. are another good thing to carry with you or have in your surroundings. Black onyx, bloodstone, emerald, quartz, smoky quartz, and crystals. Use of herbs, clear your aura. White light meditation, surround yourself with a shield of white light. So, the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is and always will be. So that's one prayer that you could use, especially if you're doing paranormal investigators. When you go in before an investigation, it's good for all investigators to say that prayer. It never hurts. So I think we've covered a lot here tonight on this show, and I hope that any of the new people out there that are listening and have any questions about what I've talked about or what we've discussed here tonight can go to our website, www.psinys.com. Hit the contact button. If you want an investigation, you could do that as well too. But if you want to know more, you can hit the contact button. Leave your name, way of contacting you, brief description of what your question is or anything like that. I will be more than happy to answer it. And you can also write to us at psinys@gmail.com. That's psinys@gmail.com. And that'll take you right to the paranormal team, and you can ask your question there. And again, we'd be more than happy to answer. So any of the previous shows that we've had on too. If you have any questions there, again, same thing. You can email us or go to the website, www.psinys.com, and hit the contact button, and you'll get us. Okay. EVP classifications. Now, this is very important. EVP is electronic voice phenomena, which is when you can't hear something and you have a digital recorder or a magnetic tape recorder, usually digitals with a very low frequency detection, and the high end frequency detections are excellent in capturing these things. They capture stuff that the human ear cannot hear. Okay, so if you're asking a question like, "What's your name? Where are you? Who are you? When did you die?" so on and so forth, and you don't hear nothing, but you play a recorder back, if you're doing an investigation or even just in your house, play the recorder back, and if you hear something, then you know that that's something that you did not hear when you were talking to this, to asking your questions. So at that point, you've captured an anomalous phenomena, voice. Some of them you may have to run through the computer. Audacity is a good program to run it through. Basically what most of us use. And this way you have a chance of, if you can't make it out, you have a chance of slowing it down or turning up the volume, adjusting the sound so it'll come in more clearer. So there's several things that you can do with that. So let's get to straight to the EVP classifications. All right. The Class A EVP is a clear voice that can be understood by anyone who listens to it. The Class A will not need to be cleaned up by putting it on the computer through the audio software to be understood. And a layman would easily be able to distinguish the Class A. It does not necessarily have to be a loud voice to have this classification. But it is the rarest EVP to capture on any piece of equipment. And this can also appear be heard on a video camera as well. Class B EVP. Class B. The EVP is a voice that can be distinguishable by some of those who listen to it and will easily agree that it is what is being said. This is the kind of EVP that is rated as such due to the fact that it is not all you hear in it, but you'll be able to agree on what is being said. So some may have to employ the use of headphones. Others, for others, the EVP may be cleaned up for them to understand it. But it's still pretty much distinguishable, the Class B. Class C EVP is often not heard by the human ear, but can be a sound or a voice that is not understood easily without a great amount of cleaning up or amplifying to be understood. And even then, only a few may hear what is actually being said. So in most cases, this Class EVP will not have one or two words that can be distinguishable, while the rest of what they hear is mainly garbled and unrecognizable. So you may only understand one or two words in the Class C EVP. All right, now I don't know, we'll go to this one here. The Class R. Class R EVP is one form of EVP that most investigators teams will have their own name for it. The EVP is that when played normally will be completely unidentifiable, but when played in reverse, clearly audible to the naked ear. These two are rare as a Class A EVP, but they've been found commonly in investigations, and since it's so rare, it is completely awesome when one does find it. I have yet not found it, but I'm still looking. All right. Frequencies. Now, remember I was talking about frequencies, EVP frequencies, all right? True EVPs are classified under 300 hertz, which is also the lowest, being recorded at 80 hertz. Some EVPs can be heard higher than 20,000 hertz, and the highest being recorded at 22,500 hertz. Human voice usually from 300 hertz to 3,500 hertz. Human hearing is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz for the average person. Some people can hear lower, some people can hear higher. All right. So that's some of the frequencies for EVP. All right. Some of the tools that are used in the paranormal field. Okay, EM pumps. Now, not sure if people know what an EM pump is, but I'm going to explain it to you. EM pump is an electromagnetic pump that creates a low-level magnetic field or magnetic field white noise. Since the frequency and durations change, these are, think of it like it's a beacon, or a triggering device. Some like to use it in areas to try to capture EVPs or photographic evidences, because the thought is by flooding the area with electromagnetic energy, spirits or anomalies may be able to appear and feed off that energy and make it more possible for manifestation. White noise. Okay, white noise can be used to eliminate background noise, on an audio recording to help analyze the recording for listening to EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon. White noise can be generated from a CD with white noise sound. White noise can also be used by spirits, ghosts to help generate EVPs. If you play white noise during an investigation, it may attract spirits and ghosts. The downside of using the white noise is filtering out the white noise once your recording is complete in order to enhance the EVP. So there's a drawback to that. A fairly new item that's been used quite a bit, seems to produce a lot of response and anomalous activity, is the XCAM SLS. The SLS stands for Structured Light Sensor. Based on an advanced SLS as well as an additional sensor inputs, this scanning camera will capture and understand the environment. And once signal screen shows all of your data, temperature, imaging, audio, distance, light, visualization, object scanning. So once that happens, then you sometimes get a stick figure appearing where nothing is there. And this is supposed to be the anomalous entity that is appearing on the structured light sensor camera. Okay, so let me also mention that I have done actually 3 paranormal appearances at a place called SOS, Single Outreach Services, and they're at Hanover Square, community room there. Hanover Square, 435 New Corner Road, Albany, New York, 12205. I may be doing another one at some point, but I did post on the website, and probably no one had enough time to see it. But I will be announcing the next time that I am there, or will be there, for a paranormal introduction and stuff like that, explaining, showing evidence that I've collected, maybe some equipment we'll bring at this next one so people can see what we got, how we use it, and you can do also an interactive thing at that time as well. So I will definitely put that on the website and create an announcement on our radio show here weeks before this happens, once I know when I'm going to do it. Oh, yes. I've also was at Fort William Henry up in Lake George, New York, and I have some pictures that I'll be posting on the website of that. There's a couple of pictures I have of possible manifestations trying to form in certain areas of the fort. Like I said, it's been a while since we've been on, but we're back, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And again, if you have any questions, go to the website, you hit the contact button, and it'll bring you to me. Website www.psinys.com, and my email is psinys@gmail.com. So if you want to contact me through that would be great as well. Always looking for investigators within the Capital District area here. Colony, Albany, Troy. Again, contact button. Let me know some of your experience, or email. Let me know, what experience you've had. If you had none, we'll always train you. Not a problem. But yeah, we are looking for investigators, you know, to join us. So again, I hope you enjoyed it, and this has been a paranormal scientific investigation, New York State, PSINYS Paranormal Talk Radio Show tonight here that we have brought back, and as time goes on, we're going to try to make more timely recordings of our show to put out there. We're going to try to get some people to interview here. Maybe some from the past, maybe some new people. Again, that's another thing. If you want to be on our show, give us a holler at the website or the email. If it's a topic you want to discuss, or if it's something that's happened to you, or something that you've been through, or it's anomalous. If you've been abducted by aliens, and I mean seriously, it's I investigate UFOs as well. Have been doing that for quite a while. Very interested in the subject. I know they exist. I have no doubt of that. So if you want to talk about that, give me a call, or email me, and or even give me a call. Leave me a message. I think my number's on the website. All right. Well, then I guess all that's left to say is hope you enjoyed the show. We will definitely see you again, and a good night.